So in this video, I'm going to talk about installing the Google Cloud Tools plugin in IntelliJ IDEA, and I'll show how to create a sample project for App Engine. And so to get going, we'll go to the plugins, and what we're looking for is the old App Engine plugin, so we can disable it or uninstall it. It doesn't uninstall, it disables. So we don't need these features. We're going to replace it with a new plugin features. So next, we'll browse repositories. And once we get there, we'll search for Google Cloud Tools to narrow it down. So Google Cloud, and once we do that, we'll hit the install and it'll install the brand new features for the Google Cloud Tools for IntelliJ. And so there's a dependency, it's a Google login, it automatically installs. You don't have to worry about that. And that's a nifty feature for helping push or deploy your app to the cloud easily. So we'll restart IntelliJ, and once it restarts with the new features, we'll look at some of the preferences. So we'll go to Configure, and we'll select Preferences this time, and look at the Google stuff. So we'll filter Google, and go down and look at Google, and then Usage Tracking. And I like to send my stats. And I've already installed the Cloud SDK, and that won't be covered in this video, but that's an easy install, a little bit of command line. But this is where the location is at and all the libraries that go along with that. So now that we're done with that, we'll close this. And we'll look at creating a new project. So there's a couple ways of doing it. You can do a Java project with App Engine standard web app as an app engine, but I use a Maven because there's an easy archetype or template that you can generate the project from. So first I got to get the artifact ID, which is the choice of archetype. And once I paste in the artifact ID, I'll want to go after the group ID. So I'll use Maven Central to find the group ID by searching for the artifact ID. And here we go. I'll copy the group ID and take it back to that ID and paste it in. Then I want the latest version. This is a good place to come back and find the latest version. I'll paste the latest version in, and I'll select the project for that, or the default archetype for that. So clicking next, it wants my group ID for the project, which I'll name it something like Simple Sandbox or My Sandbox. And I could use a package name, but I'll just name it something simple. So I'll just click next through the default settings, and then the project is generated. So once the project is generated, I'll go to the POM. In this particular archetype version, there's a couple missing properties, but it's not a problem. We'll find the latest version by going to the guide and searching through the guide. I actually know what the version I'm looking for. It's actually 1.9, so I'll do a quick find, and there it is. And so you can find the latest version here or in Maven Central, but it's constantly increasing, so you'll want to copy it. And maybe the archetype follows a couple of versions behind. So I'll paste that into the App Engine version, and then I want the G Cloud plugin version. And so I want to get that, but how do I get that? So what I do is I find out where the plugin is at. I copy the group ID. I go to Maven Central, and I do a quick search. So if you search for the group ID in Maven Central, it'll bring back the artifact or the artifact identity. And so I'll copy the version and take that back and paste it into the POM XML, which is the definition for the project. So once I've got that, I enabled auto import on Maven, so it automatically imports the Maven dependencies. And I only have to do that once. And now that we've had a project, there's one minor error. It's in a configuration in the POM. I won't cover that right now. It could be an archetype definition issue. We'll check that out later in the future, but it doesn't hamper the project. At this point, we're ready to run, so we'll right-click and debug on the App Engine server. So I'm going to start with the defaults, which are like localhost 8080, and then there's an admin link. So the server boots up. Once the server boots up, it starts outputting the content to the console. And in the console, there'll be an admin link where you can go to administrate the emulation settings of how the App Engine runs locally. You can change the behaviors for testing So there we go. The server started up and I clicked on the default servlet of bare bones template. So in here, I'll go to the admin console and or dashboard, and you can change the emulation settings in here or look at the data that's persisted locally. It just shows you how things are running. So basically that's it. We now have the App Engine server running, and if you need to do some changes, you can go back to the container or App Engine and stop it and even edit the configuration and change its parameters of how it behaves. So I appreciate you watching. Follow for more tips and tricks, or subscribe to Brandflake2267 or Brandon Donaldson. Thanks for watching.